see my Eclipse?
Yeah, I'm able to see.
Okay, perfect. So first let's start with the MQ. What is this MQ? Are you aware of MQ?
Yeah, it's all a messaging system actually, ActiveMQ, and which is having a, like, two things. One is queue and as well as PubSub. That's the topic,
Right. So
point to
topic
point, and
queues and queues exactly.
yeah,
Right. So where you can have subscribers, you have consumers, we call them as
yes,
consumers. And you can have subscribers for the topics.
yeah,
Well, so have you seen the MQ screen before? Apache MQ screen?
yes, I've seen that broker screen.
Okay. Okay. Before that, let's start this Apache MQ. Oh, can you please move a bit away from your microphone because I can hear your breathing. Okay, it has started. And let me open this. It's all about configuration. Okay, when you want to work with Apache MQ series or anything, Groovy anything, it's all about configuration. Okay, and so how we configure in Spring. Spring can pick up that data. So this is, I think you're familiar with the screen, right? And this is the message broker using old console. This one is new, using HTML5 version, but it's a bit confusing. There are a lot of options there. But let's go with the old console, okay? Because it's a bit clean and easy to understand. The first one is developed recently, and they're using HTML5 and it's cosmetic thing, okay? So this is the console of ActiveMQ. So for that you have to download Apache ActiveMQ distribution libraries, and you can run this. And so here you can see different options like queues, topics, subscribers, and all these things. Okay. So let's see, look at queues, because for this I just created a couple of queues for you, just to see how this queues works. Now you can see here we have email queue and SMS queue. It's a very simple thing, okay? And in using Spring, we will see how we can pull the messages. So we call them as listeners, okay? So whereas when you talk about J2EE, we call them as message-driven beans, right? Message-driven beans always listens to these queues, and whenever there is a message arrives, right, it automatically triggers something else. You can perform some other operations. In Spring, we have this listener classes, and where they listen to this particular queue. Once we have done the configuration, so they will listen to this particular queue, and whenever there is a message arrives, it performs something else. Okay. So in this case, what we do is, whenever a message arrives in this email queue, and we will send to some other queue, like SMS queue, whatever it is. Okay. By transforming it something else, you can do whatever you want. Okay. But for this, I just prepared a small thing, where whenever a message arrives in the email queue, then we will push it to the SMS queue using the listeners. Okay. You're following me?
Yeah.
Now, if you want to create a new queue, you can always go and create a new queue. And later you can use it for any other purposes. Okay. And so now how can we configure these queues? First thing is, these are all resources for me, okay? And we need to configure this to my application, to my Spring. So I have a lot of projects here, so I'm going to use one of these projects, that is Spring, because I already have done something for you. And there's this here. So this is the file. So we call it as context.xml file. So this is the place where we configure the queues. The first thing is we need to configure the broker and the queues which we are going to use. Okay. Now, so here you have this. I've given some name, JMS MQ connection factory, message queue connection factory, and this is the local host, because right now we are using Apache MQ, and this is running on TCP port 61616. That is where we are going to use, and in the back end, where is this? And these are all the
port number is different.
default classes.
The port
No,
number
this
is different.
TCP port.
Okay.
This is the TCP port. That is HTTP port.
How can you know that? Is it in the console? The TCP port
Sorry?
number? How can you know
This
that?
one is by default. By default, so if you want to look at the configuration file, they will give you the port numbers.
Okay.
And there you can go on. By default, for Apache MQ series, the port is 61616. Okay. And if you want to run from the browser, you want to run it on the browser and see this, the port number is 161 by default.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to, if you don't know them, no, we can. By default, these are all the port numbers they use.
Okay.
Or if you don't know how to do this, once you run this Apache MQ bat file, you can see that URL code. Okay.
Yep.
You can see here. HTTP.
Yes.
Once it runs, then you can see that, and you can see the other port number somewhere, TCP port. Once it runs. Okay. Must be somewhere. Okay.
Okay.
Well, so now what I'm going to do is, now we are going to configure the factory and the queue. So this factory, this kind of in Java we have this factory pattern, right? Where this factory provides different services. I can say no different queues. I can pull it from the using the factory model. So by default they provide this. We can use any name you want. So we are going to configure this JNDA reference factory. So JNDA, you know, right? Java naming and that interface. So we're using that name, we can pull out that resource. So in this case, we're going to configure two queues. One is JMS queue, email queue, and JMS SMS queue. Just now we have created one more queue. Okay, this is the name. This is the class type. So this is type of this is org Apache ActiveMQ command.activemq queue. So this is the queue, right? So I'm going to configure this queue, and I'm going to use this factory, the same factory which I have configured here. This factory is going to provide these queues references for us. Now if you want to create one more queue, just now I created my queue, so I'm going to add this. This is just one-time configuration. So the first time it will take some time, but once you have configured at least one queue, the next time is just copy and paste. So just now I created my queue, and so here you can see there is a physical name. So this is the actual name which we have given here. This is the name, this is the JNDA name, I can say. This is the JNDA name I'm going to use, but this is the physical queue name which is available in the ActiveMQ series. Now you can see here, this is the name email queue, my queue, and SMS queue. Okay. So now this one is, this is the physical name of my queue in the ActiveMQ series. Now once this is ready, I can finish this. So this is the resource configuration, first thing. So I need to configure the MQ factory, message queue factory, and message queues. Tomorrow if you have topics, you can configure topics also here, okay, which you can refer in your Java programs, in Spring or whatever it is. Okay. Once this is done, the second thing is how I'm going to use these queues and where I'm going to use these queues. Okay. So now for that, we are going to use the Spring configuration. For that, I've created a couple of classes. One is a listener, which listens to these queues, to one of these queues, and once a message arrives into the queue, then we will ask it to do something else. Okay, so where I call some other program, and the program will take care of something else. Let's take a simple example. Now you withdraw money from the bank, right? So within a second you will get SMS. Okay, so this SMS product can be different, right? So what this bank will do, we really don't know how they configure it. Okay, so now once you withdraw money, so they will send a message to a queue, and some SMS, I can say, cron job will be listening to that listeners. They will listen to the queue, and whenever a message arrives with account number or mobile number and amount, so they will call some SMS factory.send SMS. They will get something, so which takes this mobile number and the amount or name, whatever it is, and they send SMS. So they are loosely coupled, I can say. Okay. So whenever you perform a transaction, they will write a log into the database, and they will put a message in the queue, and the message can be picked up from the queue by some other listener, anybody who want to use it. Okay. Now let's see how this is configured. This is the string configuration, and we are going to use this JNDA lookup. What is this? Okay, so this is the JNDA lookup. So for this, we have a special tag here, that is JEE. This is a bean tag, is by default Spring provides, and this is the JEE tag which we need to use to look up our queues and the connection factory. So right now, these are all the three things that we have created just now. One is connection factory, email queue, and SMS queue. If you want to use one more queue, I'm going to use my queue, and this is the name. This is typically Java way, right? Up to here, we are very familiar, right? From Java environment, we're going to pick up this JNDA name, JMS, my queue. This is the same way we configure. Okay. Now I have configured 3 queues and the queue factory, that is this one. I'm giving some name, whatever name I want. Okay. Now if you want to use these JEE tags, now we need to look at this. This XML contains a lot of things based on the usage, so we need to import the namespace. We call them XML namespaces. So those tags are available under this. You're working with web services, right? The web services always use namespaces.
Yes.
Right. So these namespaces provides what is the structure of your kind of XSD, which provides the structure and what is the type of those, all these things. The schema, I can say, the schema they provide. So these JEE tags are available under this namespace schema, HTTP string download, and we have to use some other tag that is related to JEE. Okay? This is not relevant. You can easily find out these things on the internet. So now once we have configured our message queue factory and message queues, then how we are going to use it, and how Spring is going to use them. So Spring provides a special class called JMS template. This is similar to JDBC template. JDBC template, you are familiar with JDBC template, right? You said you open JDBC.
Yes.
Exactly. So Spring provides a template Java file to handle JMS messaging services. Okay, that is JMS template. It's available under org.springframework.jms.code. Whereas for JDBC template, we might be having somewhere. Where is it? This JDBC template. Okay. So they provide different classes to work with different type of objects. Now this is for database. JDBC, that is JDBC template, and this one is JMS template under the same package. Go JMS template, JDBC template, other things. And now this is your familiar, right? Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, connection factory, and you're injecting.
We are injecting. So this JMS template might be having a property called connection factory, and we are injecting our message connection factory. That's it. So this configuration is done from Spring perspective. So just 4 lines of code. You just have to configure the connection factory and inject that connection factory instance over. Okay.
Can't we do this one by using annotations?
Yes, you can do it.
Okay.
Okay. Annotations you can use it, but annotations are, it's kind of. I like annotations, but they are like tightly coupled with your code, because tomorrow if I want to change something, I need to find out the Java file, I need to go and modify it there.
Okay. Okay.
When you have a configuration file like this, you can break down them into small configuration files. Now I am beans.xml, I have beans1.xml, I can create a number of configuration files based on my modules, right?
Okay.
But annotations are very powerful and very useful. Yeah, we can still do that. And now once we have injected this connection factory, that configuration is done. Tomorrow if you want to use IBM MQ series, or WebSphere MQ series, you can go and change your resources. Go and change the broker URL here. Okay, your broker URL. Tomorrow if you are using some IBM and IBM MQ series, then you just go and use the different factory class given by them. That is the use of it. This is very loosely coupled. That is the use of. That's why Spring is very popular.
Yeah.
Well, my factory is ready. Then, as I said, now I need to write a listener which listens to this queue, which a message comes into my email queue and it listens to that queue always. Once I start my web application, once my server starts, then the listener. Listener is like a container service which continuously runs and it listens to the port. Now, so this is the listener I have. So, which listens to a queue. Okay, and this listener it implements message listener given by normal JMS, JavaX, JMS, a message listener implements that, and it has to implement a message on message. So this on message means whenever the message arrives, this method will be triggered.
Okay.
This we are putting some check, which is a text message or if some other XML, whatever it is. So you can remove this, not required. So I'm just printing something, receive a message from the queue, the message, and once I receive the message, this is what I am doing. I am doing something else. Okay. I'm just printing this, and after that, I am doing some processing, further processing. I am saying, I'm using a message sender, and I am send this message to something else.
Okay.
Or do something else. It's not, here you can do whatever you want. Okay? You can insert a record into your database. Okay? Whenever a message is posted into there, then you can insert a message into a database as well. Okay? This is purely depends on you, what you want to do. Okay? Now, let me go here, send message. So this is very simple thing, so don't worry about all these things. I'm just printing the message here, at the same time, I am posting this message.
Okay.
Or you can do whatever you want, or send SMS. You use some SMS factory and send SMS to someone else, okay?
Okay.
And the send message is a simple, let me just show you this. So this listener is a service.
Okay.
Where is that? Where is this? This is the listener, and I'm just configure this listener, and I'm injecting the message sender to it, which is this, and which takes our JMS template and queue, SMS queue. So means what I'm doing, the message sender, I am looking up for SMS queue, and I am going to shoot a message to this SMS queue. So this SMS queue is already configured here, right?
Yeah.
Or I can use my queue also, whatever it is. Okay, I can change this one to my queue. Now let's see what's happening here. So this one takes two things. One is JMS template. This JMS template contains the factory, complete configuration, I can say. It will have a Docker instance, it will have the queues information with this. This is the queue which I would like to send to which queue. So this message, what I am doing, I am using this message,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and I am making it simple XML.
Mm-hmm.
This is simple. I am doing something.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else, okay? And I'm using JMS template that convert and send the message to queue. So I'm sending this message to this queue. So what is the queue I'm injecting there?
This SMS my queue.
My queue. So my intention is I would like to send this message. So whatever message I send, I am converting it to a simple XML.
Yeah.
Okay, just for dummy purpose, I'm just doing something. I'm appending an XML tags to this and putting it to my queue. This is a simple thing what we are doing. Now let us start our server. So already this is there. This is pure configuration. So we just have to understand what is MQ, how MQ is going to work.
What's the server you are using? Jetty or Tomcat?
We are using Tomcat.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I started already. Well, so let us clear this up. So because what I am doing is before I send to queue, I am writing a message onto my console also. We can see what's happening here. Now let's go to our message queue and let's post a message to this email queue. So this is the email queue what I have.
Mm-hmm.
So you can send a message saying, I'm just sending a test message from this thing. So I'm posting a message to this queue now. It's not stop.
For queue listener, don't you use that from which queue you are getting information?
Sorry?
For queue listener, so you have not injected any queue, no? Like, from which queue it is receiving the information and all?
No, we have injected that. I mean, one second.
No, for queue listener, I think there is no inject.
So this is my
Yeah, if you can just, if you say queue listener,
oh shit, man. Use listener.
and you haven't used any JMS template and all the things?
Use not required. I did something. Let's see. Something happened. You can see that here.
Yeah.
We are passing it there.
Okay.
This message listener is listening to this, the message listener container. This one is configured here always. This is my Spring things. Oh, it already came in now.
Yes.
It's already listened to this. Okay.
Yeah.
You can trigger it against the previous student task properly. Maybe this one is working now. Okay, it's working. So now let us post one more message.
Okay.
So you can see here where is my queue. You can see here there's my message came here to this queue, right?
Yes.
So from email queue it will came in. So now let us send one more. Send queue. Just sending this. The moment I send this, you can see here on the console, it says it has received the message from the queue. A message ID is this one. This is my system, so it gives some unique ID for each and every message. So one is from the original message is null, and it destination is email queue, and the message is what is it? Hello, Sish there. This is a message coming in. So now, this once the message arrives, this listener calls this sender message sender dot send message, right? So there it is processing this message and it is sending message to. It is processing this. So now, what it is processing? Let us see what. Let's go back and see what it is processing. It can be anything. So I don't need to send to queue, but I can use some SMS program which sends an SMS to some, to the user later, But this is because now to see in the real time what's happening, so we are just pushing the message from one queue to other queue. But in real time, it can be something else also. Okay.
Okay.
Now my message queue has received a second message. Now let us see what is the detail there. What we have. So it has received two messages. First one we sent at 7:10, and let's see what is the message there. This one, right? So what I'm doing, the moment I receive this message, I'm making it a simple XML. I can do whatever I want, I'm just wrapping it within my XML tags, and I'm processing it. And my second message is this: hello Siddhar, how are you? And I'm wrapping it with something else. So tomorrow, if you want to send to someone else, you can do whatever you want there. This is a simple, example how this can be integrated, completely.
Sure.
So if I want to, in the queues, I can do, let's say, testing, and I can post n number of, because in real time there can be hundreds of messages coming into the queue, right? So when I just put 100, so now let's see what will happen. Now this one is running in the backend.
Yeah.
It is processing all the messages.
Yes.
It has processed all the messages and it has sent them to our my queue. So let's refresh this and see what's there. So how many I have? Total I have 102. So previously I have 2 messages, and currently I have processed 100 messages from my queue.
Okay.
So I can just go and see all the message IDs from here. Later you can write some code to purge the messages from whenever you read the message, you can just purge the message. That you can write all of, you can do all those things.
Okay.
But that is the secondary part. That is just enhancement of things. So because in message queue you have these concepts, right? So when you browse and delete, or browse just only browse, right?
Yep.
So you can do all these things. So this is typically how you can integrate your Spring with MQ series. So configure the message queue factory, configure your queues, then use the JMS template given by Spring Framework, and use a listener which runs continuously and processes the messages whatever coming in.
Sure.
right?
Yep.
It's easy, right?
Yes. Easy.
It's very easy. So Spring, that's why Spring is so popular. It's very powerful and it's very flexible. The first thing is it's very flexible and it's very powerful.
Yep.
We have done nothing. We just created just simple Java file which injects the message, which receives the message and listener, and everything is configuration, right?
Yes.
This is how this works out. And the second one, the topic today is Groovy. So you know what is a Groovy, right? Groovy is a dynamic language
That's correct.
which is built on top of Java. It almost looks like Java. Okay, it is tightly coupled with Java, I can say, you know. And for that, you need to download some files, and you know, a simple Groovy file looks like this. Have you tried Groovy before?
No, wait, I haven't tried actually.
I haven't tried. Groovy is very simple and powerful language. First, let me show you. Not Eclipse. There is something called Groovy console. Groovy provides its own console where you can just run simple, you know, Groovy programs.
Okay.
Later I can show you how it can be done in Eclipse.
Okay.
Let's start. There are a lot of commands, as you know, right? So every programming language will have its own set of functions, methods,
Yeah.
like syntax style, you know. And this is a simple console given by Groovy framework, and here you can just try out some simple, you know, commands, you know, in Groovy. And this also looks like Java. You can write classes in Groovy, and they're very powerful and very agile. It's not like I'll just show you some simple example. You know, this looks like a shell script. No semicolon, nothing. Okay. Now what I did? I'm telling to Groovy that print something on thing. So in shell you use echo, right? Echo something.
Yes.
It will write
Yes.
something on the screen, something like this. So, and you can write some commands for what is that class? What is that class? What is this? Hello? We use def here. In
Yeah.
Java we
Okay.
use string of bars.
String,
Here we use
yeah.
just string of bars. We just use this, and you can say hello, or you can write a method like this: integer add integer a integer b, and I can just say a plus. You don't need to use semicolons actually, it's not required. You can just use a plus b, that's it. Okay, and now how to call this class? You can just say hello is equal to. So if you know Java, Groovy is very simple. Okay, println h dot add 10, 20. You can see here.
Yeah.
It said hello and it just executed the result of that. So it's a very easy and powerful language. It just looks like Java only. But these days people are asking how can you integrate this Groovy with Spring and all these things. That we can learn very slowly. But
Okay.
I will just show you how we can integrate this Groovy thing in normal Java, right? In normal Java, how can we do that? Okay. We again still depend on the configuration, purely on the configuration. Now here I just created one. This is another project. This. This is on the configuration file where we configure this Groovy thing. So if you want to use your Groovy programs in Spring, there are two ways to do that. One is using this. So Spring supports other dynamic languages like Groovy. You have Ruby, right? Ruby on Rails,
Yeah.
Ruby on Rails. Both are almost the same, right? So, but Spring provides support for all these dynamic languages. So now, if I want to refer to a Groovy program in my Spring, then I use this. This is the typical way we do, right? We call it as bean. We said ID is this and class is this. But if I want to refer to my Groovy program, we use language Groovy, ID is this, and this is the one. Script source, and we use, this is my Groovy file, which I have. Okay?
Okay.
If you want, this is the same way, but the way we configure is a bit different, that's it. Okay? This is one way of doing things. The other way is, you can directly write the script here.
Okay.
Okay? You can directly write the script like this. This is called, inline script.
Okay.
This is called inline script. So where you can write this class dynamically in the configuration itself. But this is not recommended. Okay, we always follow the normal Java approach. We just create all the classes, Groovy programs, and we put them in nice under a package and we use them. Okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, we won't have more control. So you can do like this also. I will show you how. Going forward, we can show you how these things works. Okay. So now let us look at this program, how this Groovy program looks. Okay. Nothing. So I have a Groovy project in my where is this? It's created a simple Groovy project for you, and this one just says my Groovy class implements a message. Okay. But until now, if you look at this, nobody knows that this is the Java class or Groovy class. We
Okay.
call it as Groovy class. Okay. But here you don't find, if I remove this, then people understand, okay, there is no semicolon there, so definitely it's a Groovy program. But unless people never realize it is Groovy or Java. Okay.
Okay.
And of course, this println is different in Java. We use system out println. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this one is implementing a message. Message is
Interface.
normal Java interface. Okay, because I need to refer this class somehow in my Spring, so the only way I can get handle to this is by interface, through my interface. Okay, so I just put some say hello, and I just have a simple Groovy program here, and I have this simple thing. So I created a jar file out of this, so I can include this jar file in my Spring program here.
Okay.
Okay. And you can see it will be in my path. I created a where is my Groovy? I don't know, I kept it somewhere. Okay, so here it is. Okay, I just created a simple jar file there, which I just created out of that, and I'm referring it here. Now, I go to my normal injection. So it's like normal injection. Spring. So I'm saying message m is equal to, this is my interface, and context.get bean groovy message. So groovy message is my name of my ID of my bean, which is my groovy message, which refers to my groovy class. Okay. So whenever we run this program, it's like normal class path context bean and just say hello. Okay. This is how we can do that. So if I go back to my normal Groovy project, and if I want to add something else, okay, and I go to my Groovy class, normal way, normal Java way. So I modified my programs, so then I need to create my jar file. So for that I have a build script with me. So I just go here and I am just going to build a jar files. Okay, so I have my jar file created under here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refer to this jar file directly in my build path. Okay. So I go to my Spring. I remove the old reference to it, and I'm going to add new external jar files. So now I added a new method, so I have to create a new build file. You know about it, right? So then I come here, and I'm going to say m dot
I think you need to refresh. No, still it's not good.
Oh, I haven't saved here. That's a problem. It is referred here, so I cannot delete that. I can directly use from here. This always locks. Let me restart my thing.
No problem.
Because whenever you attach it to your thing, it never deletes the file.
Yeah.
That's why it's very easy to do it. So you're based out of London?
Yes.
So did your MS then new?
Yeah.
Okay, it's created now. So now let's go back to our Spring.
No, still not yet come.
So I got my new method here.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to run this. Now it just do something with the message. Hello. So
Yeah.
so it's a Groovy file, but it just acts as a normal Java file. The whole thing is we need to just compile it before we start using this. Otherwise, it will never work.
Okay.
This is how it works. So Groovy is like similar to Java. We just have to learn a bit syntax, loops, conditions. We just after it, that's enough.
So, is it like same time every day you take your classes or different times? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, is it the same time he is going to take the classes or different times?
Yeah, Krishna?
No, I'm fine with that actually. So I would like to take a classes, regular classes. I just wanted to check that
Yeah, I
timings
will
every
call
day.
you. I will call you, okay? I will call you. Okay?
Yeah, maybe give me call after 1 hour, 1.5 hour, if you're
Yes,
fine.
yes, sure. I will call you back after 1 hour, okay?
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello?